All right, so now talking about how to do the body lock grip, okay? And mostly I'll be talking about before we've beaten the knee line, okay? But I'll talk a little bit about how it changes as we progress too. So to do the body lock grip, first, like there's a lot of mistakes. A lot of the time when I see someone's having trouble with the body lock, the first thing I say is show me your grip, and they're not doing the grip in a way that maximizes the chance of having success, okay? So first of all, what am I trying to achieve? Obviously I need to connect my hands, right? I generally want to keep the hips close, right? I don't want Brody having too much space. It's going to be way harder to beat his knee line. It starts to put pressure on my grip. So I'm going to want to try to pull his hips tight towards me. So I do need the tightness. I definitely need to be past the waistline, okay? So obviously if I'm below here, he can escape his hips, right? So I want to be past his waistline, but I don't want to be too high, okay? Here, so what I really want now, so now that I've blocked his hips moving, the other thing I need is some pressure on this leg. I'm trying to pull this knee away from the chest, okay? And the deeper my left hand goes, the harder it is. Like you can see I can't put any pressure on that leg and keep his knee nice and high. The higher my grip is, even worse. He can pull his knee even higher, okay? So I actually want to have my hands quite low down on the hip. You might have to make a few adjustments to get this right. I also want to pick a side. So a lot of people say, I do the body lock, but it hurts my hands. Like, yeah, it'll hurt your hands, flat. If you're trying to pass like this and he's got all your weight on it, and then you put your weight on top of your hands as well, it'll hurt, okay? So, but you're doing it wrong, okay? So let's go back. My hands, I'll pull them around as far as I can here, right? There's pretty much no weight on my actual hands. When I lean in, there's no pressure on my hands themselves, okay? It's on my forearm. So the other thing that you want to do is have your palm up with this, right? And make it an S grip, right? So first off, why an S grip? Again, look at how far my left elbow can move backwards and left armpit can move backwards, okay? If I connect with an S grip, I get the maximum range to pull my elbow back, right? If I connect something like a gable grip or something, see, I'm barely affecting his thigh at all. So by changing to this grip, I can lock in tighter. Palm up tends to give you a tighter lock. Palm down, you lose a bit of pressure to be able to pull tight. So I often see people doing this. It's hard to put pressure on the leg like this. I want my palm up on this hand that's next to the leg so I can lock in nice and tight, right? So really, where, if you can just look here, I'm going to want my tricep and I just pull your knee to your chest again. Yeah. My tricep and my armpit to be attached as high as possible on the leg so that when I sag my weight back, it's going to pull the leg back, okay? So in total, when we get our body lock grip, it should be low down on the hips, pull through, low down, so get low on the hips, not too high. You should be right across that that hip bone on the lower back, okay? Taking your hands, connecting your fingers together, palm up, and then locking some weight down on the top of that leg. All right, so maybe, of course, if you did have really long arms, you might be able to connect your hands like this and still apply pressure to the leg. But I got short arms, so generally do what I'm doing if you're somewhat built like me, okay? All right, so now there is a high body lock too, okay? So some people are good at passing with a body lock that's up here, okay? I'm going to do a separate course on that once I actually get good at passing like that. For me, it's all at the waist at the moment, right? Once we beat the knee line, all right, things can change a little bit here, all right? Now, sometimes I'll keep the same grip with my head on the front side and I'll still pass here. Sometimes, particularly if Brody sits up, yeah, I'll often take my arm deep, right? It becomes almost like an underhook, right? And I'll connect my hands here. And this is a different grip, but it's still a body lock, right? I can start applying pressure. So then when I do this, it's a slightly different grip. You can even, now, I just want to be tight with my grip. So I'm happy to do, I don't need the S grip anymore. I can be tight here and lean in. And often it bends there. If you can get your forearms right under the back and lean on them, it arches their back. And it makes it very hard to move and very uncomfortable as you look to pass. You don't always have to do that. You can still keep an S grip, that's fine. You might have to, if you need more base, S grip gives you more base with your elbow. So if you feel that's a problem, you can do that, but often a tighter grip as you've beaten a knee line is better. This is an advanced course on the body lock. The body lock is one of the most effective ways to pass the guard in no gi. You can use it in gi as well, although there are certainly other options you can use. But one of the difficulties in no gi is that it's much easier for your opponent to potentially escape out of grips, such as an underhook or a crossface. When you connect your hands in a body lock, it really sticks you to your opponent, so it's much harder for them to make space, and this is why it's one of the great ways to pass the guard. In this course, we'll cover the key concepts and strategy around how we use the body lock. We'll break it up into a few distinct phases. Entering the body lock, passing the knee line, freeing your leg to get outside the legs, and then finishing the pass. So let's get started with the course, body lock.